For years, Simon Cowell was seen as the hard-edged, no-nonsense judge whose words could make or break careers. His sharp tongue, unshakable confidence, and instinct for talent made him one of television's most iconic figures. Yet behind the cameras, behind the polished image of success, lay a man whose life was about to change in ways no ratings, contracts, or worldwide fame could ever prepare him for. The birth of his son, Eric Philip Cowell, on Valentine's Day 2014, quietly altered his world. What began as a chapter shadowed by controversy and media scrutiny soon became a story of vulnerability, growth, and unconditional love. Simon's journey into fatherhood would teach him lessons that fame never could, transforming him from a man defined by power and control into one whose life was now measured in moments of connection, patience, and empathy. It was a change that reshaped not just his career, but his heart. From fame to family. Before Eric arrived, Simon's life was consumed by work. Auditions, studio sessions, negotiations, and television ratings dictated every hour of his day. He thrived on structure, control, and the adrenaline of being in the public eye, where each decision could affect careers and millions of viewers. Personal life often took a back seat, and moments of introspection or emotional vulnerability were rare. Yet the birth of his son brought a seismic shift. Holding Eric in his arms, Simon felt a profound, quiet love that no deal, show, or paycheck could ever provide. It was a love that reminded him of family values he had long overlooked. Naming his son after his own late father became a symbolic reconnection to the roots he had left behind. Slowly, Simon began to appreciate that some of life's most meaningful victories couldn't be measured in awards or television ratings. They were found in the daily rhythms of caring, learning, and simply being present for another human being. The awakening of a father's heart. In those first months of Eric's life, Simon experienced a side of himself he hadn't known existed. He discovered patience he had never needed in his high-pressure career, and a softer, more reflective part of his personality. Each cry, each coo, each tiny gesture became a teacher. Simon's world, previously defined by deadlines and decisions, now revolved around the needs of his son. Even simple moments, feeding, bathing, or rocking Eric to sleep, were infused with meaning. These small, intimate experiences gradually reshaped Simon's priorities. He began to understand that influence and control weren't the only forms of power in life. Love and care could be transformative in their own right. Fatherhood demanded humility, and Simon embraced it. He realized that life's most profound lessons often come quietly, not in studios or boardrooms, but in the tender, unscripted moments spent nurturing another human being. This awakening marked the start of a journey that would forever alter Simon Cowell's sense of purpose. Noticing the signs as Eric grew, Simon began to observe patterns that raised subtle concerns. Unlike other children, Eric reacted strongly to loud noises and became easily overwhelmed in busy environments. At first, Simon attributed this to individual differences in personality, telling himself that every child develops at their own pace. Yet his instincts, the same attention to detail that had built his career, would not let him ignore these signals. On a family holiday, a crowded restaurant highlighted Eric's sensitivity in a striking way, prompting Simon to pay closer attention. This was not simple shyness, it was something deeper. After months of careful observation, consultations, and assessments with specialists, Eric was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Far from causing fear, the diagnosis became a guidepost for Simon. It was a turning point that allowed him to approach fatherhood with intentionality, adapting his life to support his son's unique needs while fostering an environment where Eric could thrive emotionally, socially, and intellectually. Learning patience and adaptability. Autism challenged Simon to rethink everything he knew about control, success, and routine. The structured predictability that Eric relied on became central to Simon's own life, requiring him to slow down and adjust expectations. His Malibu home was transformed into a supportive sanctuary with calmer lighting, quieter spaces, and carefully considered routines. Therapy sessions, speech, occupational, and sensory, became an integral part of daily life, but so did playful storytelling, laughter, and the sheer joy of shared moments. Simon's approach to fatherhood became less about achieving perfection and more about presence. Every small victory, Eric's first sentence, his first successful interaction, or a breakthrough in social engagement, was celebrated with a depth of emotion that no career accomplishment had ever matched. This new rhythm of life grounded Simon in the beauty of daily progress, teaching him that growth is measured not in applause or recognition, but in the quiet milestones that signify genuine connection. Advocating for understanding. When rumors and speculation about Eric's development began to surface in the media, Simon faced a difficult choice: remain silent to protect his son's privacy, or speak out and advocate for understanding. Choosing courage, Simon publicly confirmed Eric's autism diagnosis. His intention was never to seek sympathy, but to offer visibility and acceptance. By sharing their story, Simon challenged misconceptions, showing the world that autism is not a limitation or something to be hidden, but simply a different way of experiencing life. His honesty resonated with families around the globe, offering comfort, validation, and inspiration. In standing up for Eric, Simon highlighted the importance of advocacy, empathy, and visibility, emphasizing that parental love can also serve as a bridge to greater societal understanding. This public acknowledgement became a powerful chapter in his fatherhood journey, demonstrating that vulnerability can coexist with strength and fame. Redefining success. Eric's presence prompted Simon to rethink the very meaning of achievement. No longer did he define himself by ratings, contracts, or celebrity influence. Instead, success became measured by everyday moments of connection and learning. The joy of seeing Eric master a new skill, the laughter shared over a game, or a quiet bedtime story became milestones more valuable than any award. Simon learned that patience, empathy, and adaptability were achievements in their own right. The transformation was not instantaneous, but gradual, marked by the understanding that life's greatest rewards are often intangible. Through fatherhood, Simon discovered that true fulfillment is found not in accolades, but in relationships, presence, and love. This shift reframed his priorities, creating a balance between career obligations and family life, and underscoring the importance of emotional investment over professional triumphs, a love that transcends fame. The journey with Eric has given Simon a new lens through which to view the world. He has learned to slow down, to observe, and to celebrate the beauty in everyday moments. Fatherhood taught him that love does not demand perfection or recognition. It is quietly transformative and infinitely patient. His life, once defined by public scrutiny and relentless ambition, is now enriched by empathy, shared discovery, and connection. Simon Cowell's story illustrates a profound truth. The most impactful lessons often arrive from those we least expect, and the deepest growth comes from opening one's heart fully. Through Eric, Simon has learned that love, in its purest form, needs no applause and yields rewards far beyond fame, money, or influence. It is an enduring, humbling, and ultimately life-changing experience. Ekika Legacy. Beyond the spotlight today, Simon Cowell's legacy is not only defined by his entertainment empire, but also by the lessons of fatherhood he carries forward. Eric has transformed Simon's perspective on life, teaching him to value empathy, patience, and the small victories that often go unnoticed. This journey is far from a scripted television moment. It is raw, ongoing, and deeply human. Simon's story stands as a reminder that even the most high-profile lives are enriched and reshaped by love, responsibility, and connection. Beyond the glitz, the ratings, and the fame, Simon has found a purpose that transcends the spotlight. A purpose rooted in being present, advocating for understanding, and nurturing a child who continues to inspire and teach him every day. In embracing fatherhood fully, Simon Cowell discovered the heart behind the fame.